Hello everyone, welcome to the NXL Top 10 Plays, Episode 2. Before we get started, if you want to watch more paintball content, I have over 40 videos for YouTube and Patreon members with lots more on the way. Thanks to the 100 plus members that have already joined. Lastly, if you want to see the full version of a match shown in this video, you can use the card pop-ups on the top right of the screen to go right to that match. Alright, now let's get started with some honorable mentions that didn't make the top 10 list. First up, we have Struggle taking on Tiki's Totem in the prelims. Struggle's D-side player makes a great move while none of the Tiki Totem players are looking on the D-side, and getting at least a 3-pack here to win the point. Next up, we have Tiki's Totem being very aggressive here on the D-side, which pays off when a ball catches the mini W player. I can't 100% say he was trying to hide it, but the ref got in there, found it, and threw the minor penalty. Here we have one of the more rare occurrences on this layout, with TJ's snake player hopping over the beam to go inside the snake instead of the outside. He gets the kill by wrapping the 50 and stays alive, which you didn't see often on this layout. Another rare occurrence can be seen here in this clip, where Jesse from Ology stops while crawling up the snake to pop up and get a shot in on Caputo at the 50 snake. In this clip, Jake from Leverage is in a 2-on-1 against Tiki's with a player on the D side and a player in his snake 1. Jake gets a shot in on the snake player and is able to gunfight his way to a kill on the D side. For the last honorable mention, I can't leave out this 1-on-1 in triple overtime. I wasn't sure how to rank this in comparison to a normal 5v5 point, so I decided to keep it off the top 10. Early on, Ben from Wrecking Crew takes a big bite and gets all the way to P-Mob's wedge and almost catches John over the top. After some close calls, John makes a move to the tower and gets a shot in on Ben's tank to take the win and move on to semifinals. A fitting last clip to head into our top 10 plays from the event. Starting off this top 10 list, we have Ology taking on Tiki's Totem in the prelims. Ology is leading 6-4 with about 3 minutes left when Tiki's does a rare and risky play by sending Beasley to Ology's brick off the break. He makes it there alive and seemingly unnoticed. A second before Beasley comes around, Tyler's looking that way but switches back to the snake side. Beasley goes as low as he can and sticks his gun around to kill Tyler. Beasley gets towered clean, while Tyler receives a major for shooting Beasley after being hit. Josh becomes the last one alive and almost gets 2 kills of his own, but runs into equipment issues leading to him getting run down. A very rare play on this layout that seemed fitting of the number 10 spot. Up next at number 9, we have Tiki's Totem down by 1 to the New Jersey Jesters in the prelims. Totem is unable to get 5 players to the box and starts the point with 4 alive, but they get a kill off the break, evening it up. Totem sends 2 players into the snake, but only one of them is seen by the Jesters. Totem loses their D side, making it a 3v4. Meanwhile, the Jesters player crawls right past Devin in the outside snake. Devin sits up to kill the snake and home, but the last 2 Jesters players trade out with Totem. Devin's the last one alive and is able to tie up the match. Moving on to number 8, we take a look at the first point in the quarterfinals match between TJ Bastards and Greenville Growl. TJ get an early kill, but Growl takes the 50 snake right after. It becomes a 4v4, and Frutos makes a great move by seeing up to the 50 and catching Aller off guard. Aller gets a major for playing on, leading to a 2v1 in favor of TJ. In an insanely well-timed move, and maybe due to some miscommunication, Barton runs down the field and catches both TJ players looking the opposite way. He stays alive and hits the buzzer to take the lead. Taking the number 7 spot, we have Leverage up 2-0 against P-Mob in the semifinals. Leverage gets a kill off the break, but P-Mob gets to the 50 snake first. Caputo sneaks his way up to the 50 without alerting P-Mob. He sees the ruler through the crack and makes a very well-timed move to bunker him while he's over the top of the mini brick. Then he catches P-Mob's center player off guard and kills him as well. Caputo gets some help from his teammates by getting a shot in on P-Mob's snake, which allows him to move up and kill the last player on the D side. He gets a 3-pack to end the point, and Leverage takes a 3-0 lead. For the number 6 spot, we're heading back to the prelims where Leverage is up 2-0 against Ology. Leverage loses the body early but takes the 50 snake first. Caputo makes a bump back to the snake 2 while Frankie shoots Porter out of the snake. Caputo hops the beam into the outside snake and crawls right past Jesse at the snake 1. He pops up and goes to town by getting a 4-pack to clear the field and take the 3-0 lead. Cracking into the top 5, we have a familiar team Leverage in overtime in the quarterfinals against Newbies. Both teams keep 5 alive off the break, but Newbies take the 50 snake first. About a minute in, Tyler bumps back to the snake 2 to hop the beam and crawl up the snake. In a rare event, Caputo's spidey senses must have been going off because he turns his gun to his mini W anticipating Tyler's move. I have no idea how he knew Tyler was coming up in the snake, but it's safe to say that he probably saved this point for them. Tyler's able to kill Caputo but gets clipped by Jake over the top. Alfred takes the Dorito 50 soon after, while Andy takes the snake 50. Somehow Andy misses Alfred here, which is not good for the newbies because Alfred and friends go on a killing spree taking out the entire newbies D side. Andy tries to stop the bleeding by going onto Leverage's side of the field, but is taken out soon after, and Leverage takes the overtime win in quarterfinals. At the number 4 spot, we have the first point of the semifinal match between Greenville, Grau, and Ology. Both teams keep 5 alive, but somehow Jesse goes unnoticed in the outside snake and is able to crawl all the way to Grau's side without any issues. He pops up and gets a nasty 4-pack, and with a little help from his team, Ology closes out the point and takes the 1-0 lead. Up next at number 3, we go back to the same match from the number 10 spot with Ology up by 1 against Tiki's Totem. This was actually the first point Totem did that rare play up the middle into the other team's brick. Totem strikes first by killing a D-side can, and then that center player takes out Tyler, who also receives a minor, making it a 2-on-5. At the same time that happened, Porter made a move into the S2 where he catches a player moving up the center. Then he pops a top and catches the front snake moving up. Porter bumps into the S50 to kill the center player, then pops the top and catches Devin trying to run him down. To finish it off, Porter gets a crossfield shot on the unsuspecting D-side player, and ends the point with a 5-pack. A truly insane move to stay alive there while killing all 5 players, and very deserving of the number 3 spot. Alright, moving on to number 2, we go back to the Newbies vs Leverage quarterfinal match. We saw the overtime point with these two teams, but let's take a look at when Leverage tied it up. Newbies start the point with 4 players, but even it up by killing Frankie off the D side. Leverage kills the center tower for Newbies, who probably should have died a little bit earlier, but Newbies kill Alfred soon after. At the same time, Caputo makes a bump back to the S2 and hops to beam to the outside snake. He crawls to Newbie's snake side and pops up to get a 3-pack to close out the point and tie up the match. And now for the number 1 spot on this list of some really awesome plays is this point from the New York Wrecking Crew vs P-Mob quarterfinals match. As the match was tied 2-2 with a minute left, Colton tries to break open the point by moving up the D side. He gets clipped on his arm and continues on to kill another player, resulting in a major and a swing point. With only 11 seconds left in the match, Wrecking Crew sends 2 bodies up the middle to soak up some guns, while players charge up the field on the Snake and Dorito sides. Colton stays a little further back, but makes a beeline for the buzzer with about 6 seconds left. With 2 seconds left, Colton makes an insane dive over the starting bunker to hit the buzzer, but lands in one of the most awkward and painful ways I've ever seen. With the clock stopping at 1 second, Wrecking Crew receives the point to send the match into overtime with one of the fastest points I've ever seen. Luckily, Colton ended up being okay, but did not play the rest of the match. Someone said it best at the field that day. Thank God he's young because he's still malleable. I can imagine most players would not be okay after ending up in this position. This was easily one of the craziest clips I've captured on film, and I think very deserving of the number 1 spot on this list. And with that, this concludes episode 2 of the NXL Top 10 Plays. Let me know if you agree or disagree with my ranking, and let me know what your favorite play was. If you want to see these matches in full and help me make more videos like this in the future, consider becoming a member of this channel or by joining the Patreon. I have a ton more paintball content that you can't see anywhere else, including some great World Cup matches coming up soon. Thanks for watching everyone, happy holidays, and I'll see you in the next one.